Hi guys, my name's Steph, and I'm just really here to share my experiences with Dr. H Consult. I've been a patient of Dr. Hussein's for a number of years, and I originally met him when he worked at a clinic down in Brighton. However, I've been coming to see him more recently at his clinic in Harley Street for laser revision on a surgical scar on my neck. Um, the backstory to my scar is in July of 2020, I had a pretty traumatic emergency surgery on my neck, and it left me with a pretty nasty scar, which went from here, right at the top here, all the way round there, all the way up there, and all the way up there. And if I lean forward, you can kind of see, I've had laser recently on it about 3 weeks ago. You can kind of see where the scar was. It was a very noticeable scar, and there was staple marks all down my neck, and a tracheostomy. They'd put a tracheostomy in there, so there was a hole where they kind of put the tube in there. So yeah, it wasn't pretty, and I was pretty devastated about it. And I remember being so distraught um, about the scar when I came. It's more when I came out of hospital and I started my recovery, um, and I had to go to ENT outpatients for about 6 weeks, and I would go and they would change the dressings, and talk to me about what my recovery and everything. And I just remember sitting in floods of tears at every appointment, literally sobbing every time they were removing the dressings. And I just kept refusing to look at the scar. They kept trying to ask me, would you like to look at the scar? They were going to get a mirror, and I kept saying, no, no, I can't do it. I'm not ready, because I was so terrified of what it looked like. Um, and I just couldn't face it. And eventually, towards the end of the 6 weeks, I had to, because they'd removed all the bandages, and they said, like, you're gonna have to look at this. And I did. And I remember shaking. I remember physically shaking. I felt so sick. And when I saw it, it's like most things. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't pretty. Um, and I just remember being at one of these ENT appointments. I remember this lovely doctor who, um, saw how distressed I was, and basically offered to refer me for scar revision surgery on the NHS. Um, so I went for scar revision surgery. I didn't get the surgery till the sort of, I'd say, the summer of 2021. So almost a year later, after the whole thing had happened. And I think I was pinning my hopes that the scar revision surgery would fix everything and solve everything. And it did a really good job. The doctors did a really good job, but they didn't get rid of it. But then I had no concept of what was going to happen, how it was going to look afterwards anyway. So they thinned the scar out. They made it less noticeable. They made it neater, repositioned it a bit, I think, and just yeah, they just sort of improved it. But I still had a very noticeable scar there, and I had all the staple marks and the marks from the drains and the tracheostomy and all of that. So that was all still there. Um, so I was still pretty depressed about it, and I knew it wasn't something that I could live with. It was affecting my whole life on a daily basis, from my personal life, my social life, to the clothes I wore. I could no longer wear open necks. I was so self-conscious about my neck. I just wanted to hide it all the time. And I was wearing polo necks all the time. And that was pretty miserable, especially in summer. Um, so I decided to contact Dr. Hussein to see if he could help me. And he did. Uh, and he's been amazing. So when I went for a consultation at his clinic in Harley Street in London, uh, and he was so lovely, and we sat down, and we discussed the treatment and what was going to happen, and everyone at the clinic is so lovely, and it's such a positive environment. I can't say enough good things about them up there. Everyone is so kind, supportive, and compassionate, and which I think is really important. Um, so we started laser treatments on my scar about 6 weeks after the scar revision surgery. So this was kind of towards the end of 2021. And now I go and see Dr. Hussein every sort of 3 to 4 months. And I've been having a laser treatment on my scar for about a year or so, just over a year, and the results have been fantastic. My scar has dramatically improved. It's less visible, flatter, smoother in texture. I'm so pleased with the results. I feel like the scar has faded by about 70%, and it's pretty much blending into the surrounding skin. Uh, and I couldn't be happier with the results. And we're still going. The treatment itself is quick and virtually painless. I mean, you're numbed in the area where they're going to put the laser. And Dr. Hussein, he makes sure you feel comfortable throughout the entire process. And then after the treatment, my neck is quite red, and there is some scabbing, but it heals pretty quickly. And you're given an ointment to apply sort of daily, sort of day and night, and a gentle cream wash to wash it with. And then within 5 days, the scabs have fallen off, and you're just left with skin that's a little pink, which is what I've got now. This is 3 weeks post laser since I've had my last one. So and that fades pretty quickly. And then also the aftercare is great. The aftercare. So Dr. Hussein asks you to send him daily updates to him via WhatsApp, so you can check on everything. So they can check on everything. Sorry, and that everything is healing as it should be, and that you haven't got any problems. With my case, I've had to have multiple laser treatments. So for most people, it probably wouldn't be the case. Most people would probably get away with 1 or 2. I've had to have quite a few. And it's still going, so it's a process of lasering, healing and lasering again. But the results are so worth it. I'm so happy and feel more like my normal self again, and I'm getting my confidence back slowly, and I feel so positive now. So I would urge anyone who is struggling with a life-changing scar, which this was for me. It changed my life quite dramatically overnight. I just want to tell people that there are options out there, and there is hope that you can fix it, or get it to a point where you're comfortable with it and you can live with it. So I can't recommend Dr. Hussein and his team more highly. His expertise with advanced laser treatments in particular is incredible. And I know that I'm in good hands. And I would say to anyone who's got more of a complicated case to go to him, because you won't be disappointed. And I'm so grateful for his exceptional skills and the care that he's provided throughout my scar revision journey. And that is really all I can say. So, big thank you to him and his team. And looking forward to seeing them in a few months' time. Thanks, guys, for listening.